everybody. For kids experiencing homelessness, the odds can be stacked against them. It's estimated more than 80% end up dropping out of school. That's why we love a school in San Diego that specifically caters to unhoused students inside and outside the classroom. It's run by our next guest, who we call Best in Class. From the Monarch School Project, say hi to Debra, y'all. Give it up. Welcome to the show, Mikal.
Hey, Debra, welcome.
So, explain to us the Monarch School Project. What is it kind of about? Explain, Debra.
Yeah, so we're a K-12 school, public school. We're the only one of our kind in the country. And we exclusively serve students and families who are experiencing homelessness.
Yeah.
Our students are amazing. They're incredible. They're strong, determined, and they're navigating housing instability. But they show up every day. They show up to learn and they show up to grow. And because of the access to resources at Monarch, homelessness doesn't get to decide who they're going to be.
Exactly. They have the opportunity. It's incredible what you're doing. So being unhoused, kids must come in with completely different learning gaps, right?
Yeah. For understandable reasons, our students can miss school. Right? It could be a day, it could be a week. And so what we do at Monarch is to make sure that we close those gaps so we can break the cycle. Yeah. And so we do that by one-on-one tutoring, extra classroom assistance, academic intervention, and you know, support in and outside of the classroom that not only gets them up to speed with schoolwork, but it really reinforces and rebuilds and reestablishes their confidence and their self-esteem.
Yeah, it's where they start thriving.
Important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've guest hosted here. You got a question?
I do. You know, I'm curious. Can you tell us a little more about the extracurriculars at Monarch as well?
Yeah. So we have the opportunity to extend our school day. So we don't close when most schools close. We get to open until 6:30, and so we use that time very intentionally. And at its basic level, what it does is extend the working day for parents, right? So that they can do job 2 and 3. And we use that time with students, and they get to choose what they want to do. And of course, we do things like academic remediation and closing those gaps. But they get to sing, and they get to perform, and they get to do things on stage. They get to participate in sports, where they can, be on the soccer field or on the volleyball court. So they get to experience the joy and being part of a team that does something that, gets to remind them of who they are and what they can do.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. And also that doubles as childcare, like you said, for the parents to actually be able to get out of the unhoused community and be able to work.
Right. It's really hard to take a kiddo up at 2:30 when you're in the middle of a work day, particularly for our families who are so key to their child's success. They're their biggest advocates. And we know that a child's success is so closely connected to the well-being of the family, and that's why we extend our services.
It's obviously going to bleed over. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you say success is often when a student leaves the school, right? Yeah, that means you've done a good job.
That's when we know we've done our best work, because when our students leave because they've graduated in those high rates of graduation, up in the 90s, we know that that's fantastic. We also know that when a child gets to transition out of Monarch before graduation, it's because the family's found stability. And what better way to celebrate the work that we do, but also celebrate the family and the student, because they've found stability and they get to go to the school, the community school, the school close to where they live.
Oh, that must feel incredible to be able to be a part of that, Wow, well, we learned about the Monarch School thanks to the local NBC station in San Diego. Their anchor, Garcia, has covered the school many times, and she's in our audience right now. Catherine, thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks.
So, how have you seen Monarch impact the community personally?
Yeah, personally, I have seen such lives changed. It's really amazing, Kelly. I mean, we all wish that we didn't need a place like Monarch, right? That every student had a safe home to go home to at the end of the night. But that's just not the reality. So in San Diego, we are so fortunate to have the Monarch School be able to come in and embrace these families and support them, put them toward a better path. I've been fortunate enough to spend quite a bit of time at this school, and the word I always use to describe it is magical. It's magical, and these families' lives truly change. And then the ripple effect is that our entire community, it's more resilient, it's stronger, it's better, because these families are getting the help that they need, but also that they deserve.
Yeah, access and opportunity, that's key. Our next guest started at Monarch in 4th grade. Say hi to Adrian, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We love having you here. So meet Cal, obviously. Say hello.
Nice to meet you.
And tell us about your early experience with Monarch.
Yes, so me and my family were experiencing homelessness in 2015, and a family friend told us about Monarch, and that's where my journey started.
Yeah. What was your experience like when you went to the school? What did you expect, I guess?
Well, I started in the middle of the year, so it's kind of awkward for most kids to start in the middle of the year, but in a couple days, I felt like it was already family.
Oh, that's great. Just finding a network of people, right, that you can lean on. What did you enjoy most about the school?
The academics, also the arts team. I started the dance team in middle school.
Yeah.
And then up to graduation.
Yeah. The extracurriculars I'm really into. Did extracurriculars help you get through school?
I went to a publicly funded performing arts high school for the last 3 years of high school, and without it, I don't, I would have finished high school, but done what with my life, I don't know. It gave me the confidence to do it. Also, the kids who went there weren't just going to become artists. There were people who graduated, and it just made you more confident in taking on the world. So I love hearing the extracurricular conversations, the way that holistic learning comes together. I am floored.
What does your life look like today?
I graduated in 2023.
Yeah. Look at you.
Yeah, I am a first-gen graduate from my mom and dad's side.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm breaking the chains and the cycles in my family, yes. I knew I wanted to do something in the 3 big communities I'm a part of, the LGBTQ community, the dance community, or the homeless community.
Yeah.
And 2 months after I graduated, I actually joined one of the biggest homeless programs in San Diego to work at a homeless shelter.
Yeah, which is so cool because you're talking to kids who are you know, and you actually understand.
Yeah, the shelter I'm in actually is for adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy to work with them, but I understand what they're going through.
Exactly. Adrian, what do you want to say to Debra and the staff at Monarch?
I greatly appreciate you and every other staff member. You guys treated me like I was family from the beginning, and I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah. Just being silly, yeah. Well, our friends at Scholastic believe in the power of building welcoming, literacy-rich environments that empower students on their educational journeys, and that's why they're going to donate $5,000 to the Monarch School Project. Thank you so much. It's incredible what you're doing. It's incredible what you're accomplishing.